Bowman Live. Welcome to the program. This program is intended for adult audiences only. I do not make content for children. And also, Tyrone Bowman Live is unfiltered, unapologetic, and uncompromising. So, what am I going to be talking about on this episode of Political Mind Games? Because this is what it is. It's dealing with people's minds during this campaign season. And what a lot of people don't realize what's going on is what I'm going to enlighten you about today. Because if you don't understand the political mind games and how they are played, how mind manipulation through advertising, mind manipulation through distorted ads, mind manipulation through double tongued speaking candidates, mind manipulation by attempting to continue to pit one race against another in order to gain leverage over your political nemesis in an effort to drive up the poll ratings to make it appear that you're actually going to win the election. So today I'm talking about wag the dog, distract and deflect. When you know that you can't beat someone on the merits and the issues, when you know that you can't articulate your position with precise articulation and intelligence, what do? You want to deflect and you want to distract. You want to go to a different topic and take that person's mind away from what is actually being said. Remember the story about the Pied Piper? It's a children's tale, but you can learn a lot from a children's story. The Pied Piper was hired by the king to get all the rats out of the city for agreed upon sum. And when the Pied Piper played his pipes and the music came out, the rats, the mice, the rodents were attracted to the sound of the music. And all of the rats and rodents left the city, and he went to the king for the payment. The king refused to pay him, so he brought them all back. Let's have this conversation. There was a movie entitled Wag the Dog. And what was the premise of the movie? Well, I decided to go to Wikipedia and look it up. Quote, 2 weeks prior to re-election, the United States president lands in the middle of a sex scandal. In need of outside help to quell the situation, presidential advisor Winifred Ameens enlists, she was played by enlists the expertise of spin doctor Conrad Brian, who decides a distraction is the best course of action. Brienne approaches Hollywood producer Stanley Motes to help him fabricate a war in Albania. And once underway, the duo has the media entirely focused on the war. Wag the dog. That's what Donald Trump is doing. He's wagging the dog. How are him and J.D. Vance wagging the dog? They have no issues. Trump doesn't want to talk about all the criminal cases that are still open. Trump doesn't want to talk about the racism and the bigotry that he continues to espouse. Trump doesn't want to talk about his idealization of Adolf Hitler. He doesn't want to talk about the 34 counts that he was not only indicted on, but convicted on. So what does he do? They create the boogeyman, the black immigrants from Haiti. First, it was just ordinary black people like me. They're stealing your jobs. I am your friend. I am your pal. I'm the one who cares about you. We call you the blacks for Trump. What do you mean the blacks for Trump? You don't hear whites for Trump. So they came up with that advertising scheme and gimmick, and it's not working the way they thought it was going to be working. So they don't even try that one anymore. When they had their Klan convention, it was nothing but a sea of whiteness and bigotry and racism on parade. Hulk Hogan came and with his infamous speech, and he tried to blah, 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 yada, 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 yak, 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 ripping off the shirt. And then we found out that he's nothing but a bigot and a racist himself. So all that crap about say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and blah, 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 brother, it was nothing but total garbage. So what does Trump and Vance do? Vance came up with the big lie about the migrated Haitians down in Springfield who were coexisting peacefully, minding their own business, who came into this country legally. They're eating dogs. They're cooking cats. They're eating rats. They're frying roaches. He came up with the big lie to demonize. What does Trump say? He jumps right on it. If I'm elected president, I will deport these things, these people. Wag the dog. Deflect and distract. And that's nothing more than to get the racist, bigoted MAGA base stirred up. Meanwhile, while they're doing that, the puppet master is busy tearing down Vice President Kamala Harris, knowing that she is a viable, formidable opponent. She's more articulate than him. She is smarter than him. She can out-reason him and out-debate him and out-argue him on any given day of the week on her worst day. But he can't handle a strong woman, and especially a strong black woman. So he decides to say, well, she's not even black. You don't get to decide for us who is a part of our heritage. Most black people are mixed with all kinds of stuff because of miscegenation that occurred during slavery. When the white missionaries went over to Africa, they were supposed to be going over there for proselytizing and of the gospel of Jesus Christ, but they couldn't handle those beautiful, gorgeous-looking black women on that planet, so they began impregnating them, and that's why you got a lot of light-skinned, fair-haired black people in Africa because of the so-called missionaries who called themselves Christians. While they're damning them to hell, but they're fornicating and committing adultery over there. So this guy decides that he wants to demonize Kamala Harris. First, you kept talking about Biden. He's too old. He's senile. He's not articulate. He should run. Get out of the race. Get out of the race. All the media was against you. You had a bad performance at the debate. Biden decides to leave the race and defers to Vice President Kamala Harris. Now you're bitterly angry. You're bitterly upset. You can't do that. Yes, you can. Y'all came out of your convention with all the thunder and they took it away from you. Because once it was firmly established that Vice President Kamala Harris was going to be running instead of Biden, the nation became energized. Hope came alive. Faith came alive. Optimism is back in the land. We're not going back. What are we not going back to? We're not going back to bigotry. We're not going back to Jim Crow. We're not going back to sit-ins. We're not going back to lynching. We're not going back to segregation. We ain't going back to that crap. Wag the dog. And that's all they can do is wag the dog in an attempt, like this fictional character of the president who was caught in the middle of a sex scandal and hired the producer and etc. to create a fake war. So who do they say that are the victims here. They call themselves victims. And who are they demonizing? Black immigrants from war-torn Haiti. War tore Haiti. Haiti is ravaged with poverty, ravaged with war, ravaged with fear, ravaged with despondency. And all these people can do is blame the immigrants. They don't blame white immigrants for anything. America is the nation of immigrants. I don't care if you all don't like what I'm saying. It is a stipulated fact. The indigenous people were the original people here on this continent. The Great Migration from the European aspect, America, a nation of immigrants, Robins Island. The Statue of Liberty was given to America. Everybody was welcomed to these shores on Robins Island except black people. My ancestors weren't a part of the equation. They came over here as slaves, as things that you can buy and sell. They were raped, they were butchered, the men were castrated, barbecued, lynched, sold, and this is what this dude wants to go back to. But there's one group of people they will not talk about because they know they'd have hell to pay if they attack our Jewish brothers and sisters. The ADL will be all over their behinds and they would destroy them. What Hitler did was disgusting. What Hitler did was disgusting, and in the end, the coward killed himself. After he destroyed millions of people's lives, starved them. That's why I love that movie, Schindler's List. It's one of the greatest movies they ever made, Schindler's List. Check it out. And the ADL should be what it is. But at the same time, you're not going to continue to pick on black people and think that we're going to become the scapegoat, that you're going to demonize us. No other group of people are victimized and talked about and demeaned like black Americans. My ancestors paid the price in this nation. So wagging the dog in this election is not going to work. We're staying on point. We're staying on course. We're staying on par. So lie as much as you want. Fabricate as much as you want. Do pontificate as much as you want. But I'm still going to talk about the issues that matter. So that's Vance and Trump. Wag the dog. But it's not going to work. You wait until November gets here. You're going to see that Donald Trump is not going to win this election. They can try to lie, cheat, and steal, because that's what they're planning on doing. It is ironic that the mayor of New York City has been indicted in the midst of a political campaign season. And you're demanding Eric Adams to resign. Well, why don't you have that same vigor, that same venom towards Trump, and demand him to get his behind out of the race? After he was convicted on 34 felonies, they let him walk right out of court. Okay, see ya. I will defer sentencing. Don't worry about it. We're not going to even sentence you. You can just go ahead. You can become the president. Let there have been a black political candidate who was charged with the same charges and found guilty. Y'all would have demanded that he be locked up in prison that day. Bail revoked. Sentencing the next day. So this two-tier judicial system here in America, it ain't gonna work. You either have one judicial system for all of the citizenry of this country, or you start anew. You can holler Trump 2024 all you want. It doesn't change one scintilla of substantiated facts. So, might as well let the political mind games continue, because that's what they are. They're political mind games. He thought for sure that he was going to be up against Biden. Well, who's the old dude now in the race? He'll soon be 79. He's old. He's outdated. He's out of touch. He's facing senility, early signs of Alzheimer's. He's incoherent. He's baffled. All over the place. He can't stay on point. And you think that America wants him to be president? The populace of this nation does not. And neither does the Electoral College. Political mind games. Never surrender.